Welcome back to the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. We are blessed to have on the line with us right now the guru, none other than Coach Van Pettaway. Coach, how you doing this week, sir?
Doc, I'm doing great, especially after, doling out these wins this past week. Both of us should be feeling pretty good.
Well, yeah, I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better, okay? Good. I still got a little ways to go, but I am much better than I've been in the last couple of weeks, so I'll take that to get things started. We had a successful homecoming, had some misinterpreted information about homecoming festivities. There were some incidents, but they were nowhere on the campus, but that's a whole nother story. We won't even talk about that.
Right,
but it is what it is. So we got some grades to give our coach, and just when we thought this thing was getting clear, it's getting murky yet again. And I'm not going to say I told you so when we get to a certain pick, but I did tell you so.
Okay,
we'll get to that. Let the grades begin. Let the grades begin.
We'll start down in Mobile, where Alabama State played host to Grambling. Alabama State won that game 17-6. I'm going to give Alabama State an A for winning at a neutral site. And Grambling scoring on the 6 points. I got to give them a C-.
Yes, sir. I'm giving Alabama State an A. And believe it or not, it might not seem like it to some that don't pay attention because FAM has just blown the hinges off the East. But Alabama State is playing some good ball right now, and they're getting better and stronger as we come toward the end of this 2023 season. I'm giving them an A as well, and I'm going to give a C, not a C- to Grambling, because even though Grambling's offense had turned the corner, that Alabama State defense is probably a little bit better than what folks realize.
Right. Yes, they are, and I saw that firsthand in the Magic City Classic. All righty. Next up, let's go to Jackson, Mississippi, where I think a lot of us were amazed at the final score. Jackson State played host to Texas Southern. Jackson State won that game 21-19. Well, I'm going to give the home team an A- for winning the game, but at the same time, I'm going to give Texas Southern a B+.
Yes, sir.
I just thought that they battled. They did what nobody thought they could do. That was be close to Jackson at Jackson.
Well, I'm giving Texas Southern a B+ and Jackson a B-. The reason being I'm giving the B- to Jackson State is they really, I hate to say, only counting hand grenades and horseshoes, they tell me. Jackson State won the game, and you just shake the wind for how they come, but actually they were outplayed, in my opinion, by Texas State. Texas Southern. And Texas Southern, man, they just can't get out their own way, man. They are, you look up bad luck, and there's the Texas Southern logo right there, man. They can't catch a break.
Absolutely.
They cannot catch a break. And unfortunately, this, is about production and what have you done for me lately. Coach McKinney, man, has got to be feeling in some kind of special way. Now, you've been in those situations, Coach, and when, your livelihood is predicated on wins and losses, and it looks good, sounds good, feels good, but that's hard to explain to your bosses, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So, as a coach, and if you're in it long enough, you're gonna get that feeling, you'll get that understanding. So we feel for Coach McKinney, but I think this is what their administration is going to look at. The number one quarterback in the league is not playing for them this year.
Right.
You have to take that into account. I think you have to take that into account. Yep.
Well, you would hope so. And, fans are going to be fans. They're going to always be either way over the top or not nowhere on the planet when it comes to understanding I won't say the academia, but the administrative part of what's going on behind the scenes. So we wish them well down in Texas, in Houston.
Right. All right, next up, let's go down to Lorman, Mississippi, where we had the big showdown.
I told you so. I told you so. I think we both felt that we both picked Alcorn. Alcorn came out on top
44 to 21. But I think that the score is what has hit some people in the heart, especially the Jaguar Nation. 44 to 21. Alcorn State gets an A from me, and I'm sorry, but Southern's going to have to get a C on this one because they were not ready to play. The final score is not even an indication of how dominant Alcorn State was in this game.
No, Coach, do you remember I told you, and I'm going to take all the credit for this one this week. I said, this is not going to even be close.
Yes, you did. You said it.
I said, this is not going to be close, and I got a little, kickback, which is part of the, business, but it was just from what I've seen. Southern's been winning, but they've been backdoor winning. It hadn't been a convincing, and I say that once they beat the brakes off my boys this week, but that's okay. But they hadn't been that Southern that you've been used to seeing. And man, Coach, I know we don't have the money to buy folks out, but they had the money to buy folks out. Coach Dooley would be on the first thing smoking out of town right now. I'm giving Alcorn an A+ because they're geared, they're focused, and they are smelling this thing. It's a lot of tangle in this West, but they're clicking right now. And I'm going to give Southern a D.
Right.
And I'm giving them a D because this was the game of the week. They did not show up at all, Coach, and it was disappointing. We actually simulcast that game at the network because, like I said, we dubbed this. This was it, man. This was bang, bang, baby. This is all for the marbles right here. And it showed up on 4 flats, man. So they get a D from me this week, sir.
Right. And then now to our alma maters, I'll start with in Huntsville first, where Alabama A&M played host to those hissing rattlers from Florida A&M. Florida A&M won that game 42 to 28, and they jumped out on us like we had stolen something from them. So I'm going to give Florida A&M an A. I'm going to give Florida A&M an A, and my Bulldogs are going to have to take a C- on this one.
Yes, sir. I'm giving us A and a C. A, of course, to FAMU. I'm almost going to look like a stinking genius, Coach. I see it 10-1.
Yep.
And they playing this week, but they really got to bye this week, and it's going to go down to that Bethune-Cookman game, and they're smelling blood like a shark in the water. When you look at, I've always been mesmerized by your Bulldogs, especially under the leadership of Coach Maynard. You never know what you're going to get each week. At least I don't. And you see this excellence, and then you see this head scratches, and you go like, I don't know. So I'm giving them a C.
Right. Well, Langston went down. The starting quarterback went down on the first series, and Casey had to, he had to close the show for him. All right. Next up, we're going to go out to Prairie View, where your Panthers had homecoming, and your Panthers played host to Arkansas Pine Bluff. They won that game 38 to 14. I'm going to give your Panthers an A for winning at homecoming. I'm going to give Arkansas Pine Bluff a C for showing up.
I'm giving Prairie View a B. And the reason I'm giving them a B, and I'm not being disrespectful, but you're expected to beat Pine Bluff.
Right.
I want to see you beat the teams that are allegedly on your level or slightly above. So I'm going to take the win. I'm very happy for the win. I'm not going to, take it for granted, but I can only give them a B, and I'm going to give Pine Bluff a C because they're Pine Bluff.
Right. Well, for this past week, we both picked everything the way it turned out, the way we all picked them. So we look good going into this coming weekend, rather. And that starts off on Friday. Well,
yes, sir.
Arkansas Pine Bluff is playing host to Grambling State. In this game, I got to go with Grambling on this one.
No doubt about it, Coach. We're going to be stride for stride still on that pick. I think Grambling's going to rebound quite well. I do think it's going to be a very competitive game, though.
Right. Okay. Well, then we're going to go down to Tallahassee, and it's my As my coach used to say, this is a clean knockout. Florida A&M
yes,
is playing host to Lincoln University out of California. There's no way to go but with the Rattlers.
Right. We used to call it a one-hitter quitter, Coach.
Yeah.
We're going to knock them boys out for them get out there on the field good. Matter of fact, they might as well keep the bus running and get them back on their chartered flight back to Oakland, California. This is FAMU all day long, and twice on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. And then we go down to Itabita, Mississippi, where it's a trap game for Alabama State, as Mississippi Valley will be playing host to Alabama State. But I'm of the mindset that Alabama State is smelling themselves. They're on a roll. I'm going with the away team, Alabama State.
You won't have no fight out of me, sir. I think it's going to be a convincing win, and Alabama State will have a lot to say that following week. Well, not the following week, or that final week of how Prairie View will be standing. So they're feeling themselves real good. I got to pick them as well.
Okay. Now we'll go to our alma maters. We'll start with you first. Your Panthers have an afternoon contest at Baton Rouge against Southern. And in this game... Woo,
hold on, Coach. I think we're missing one. Texas Southern, did we pick that game?
Well, Texas...
they're playing on Sunday. That's because they're playing on Sunday.
Okay,
they're playing Alcorn.
We haven't gotten... Okay, yeah, you're right. That's
right.
Sunday first. I'm sorry.
You know, No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No. Texas Southern. We always do our institutions last. Texas Southern is playing host to Alcorn State on Sunday. I like TSU, but not in this game. I've got Alcorn State in this game on Sunday afternoon.
Right. They're playing that game because of a MLS soccer game. The
Correct.
Houston Dynamo.
I heard that. Yep.
And I think they'll just get some good old Sunday Texas soul food cooking with the win over the Tigers, and they'll stop by one of the local places and get them a to-go trip back to Norman. And I think Alcorn is going to finish this thing pretty strong.
Right. They, Coach McNair's got them breathing fire. They see the finish line, and I'm with you. I'm going with them. All right, now we'll go down to Southern, where they will play host to your Prairie View Panthers. And this is a afternoon contest. I'm going to have to go with Southern on this one.
I figured you would, my friend. I figured you would. And it's never personal.
Right.
And this game is a pride bowl. It's a pride bowl. Dooley wants to show the natives of Baton Rouge and show Prairie View that he is that dude. And Coach Bubba and the Panthers are trying to keep hope alive. And even though it's on the road, it's at the Bluff, and I'm going with my heart on this one, Coach. I got to go with my heart on this one. Don't hold it against me, okay, Coach? But I think that the Panthers will somehow find a way. It's going to be crazy. Something controversial is going to happen. Both of these teams are coming in with some disciplinary challenges, in my opinion, with a lot of personal fouls. I think it's going to be a chippy game and a lot of flag and laundry flying on this one. But Prairie View win in a controversial something happening that people are going to blame as a turning point of the game.
Okay. And then the final game of the week would be my Bulldogs flying down to Daytona Beach to take on Bethune-Cookman. I'm gonna go with my Bulldogs in this one. I think Coach Manning and his guys will bounce back against Bethune-Cookman. I don't think Bethune-Cookman. The only thing that bothers me about this is the start time. That's 11. That's for our Bulldogs. That'll be an 11 o'clock game for our kids.
That's right, because you're on Central Time, right? You're on Central Time.
Correct. And they're playing at 12. They're playing at 12 Eastern with a make it 11 o'clock kickoff. That's the only case. Yep.
Okay, well, I don't think that hours going to make a difference. They just get to get lunch faster when they take care of the Wildcats. And Alabama A&M will bite and bite and bite again. They're not going to Raptors, but they're going to bite 3 good times. And I think they will win this game. I'm not going to say with ease, but with enough comfort that they can say, let's go get an extra piece of chicken for the road so we get on back to Huntsville. But I think they'll be all right.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We got our split with PV and Southern, so there's no need to go to the MEAC.
Right.
And I think that we've had a very interesting season. I think Florida A&M in the East has shown everyone who they are. And now here late, Alcorn State is trying to show people that they're for real. But
no doubt.
Yep. But Coach McNair, he still has a tough road to go because he still has Jackson State on the schedule at Jackson.
Well, I told you last week or two. I know that's a big game. That's a critical game. But I think this game is going to be in particularly more important than the Jackson game. And the only reason I'm saying that because it's within that division.
Right.
And if Alcorn, yes, sir, if Alcorn can take care of Texas Southern, and it's so, I did a show earlier this week called SWAC Mathematics, football mathematics. Prairie View has to beat Southern, and Southern has to beat Prairie View. But if I can remember this correctly, Coach, bear with me. If Prairie View beats Southern, notice I put Prairie View beating Southern first. So if Prairie View beats Southern, and Prairie View finds a way to beat Alabama State, then Southern would have to beat Grambling
yes,
in the Bayou Classic in order to help Prairie View. Okay? If Prairie View loses, it's over.
Gotcha.
Okay? If Southern beats Prairie View and they beat Grambling, then it will boil down between Alcorn and Southern, and then the Jackson game will have an impact. Mm-hmm. So it's all combobulated, Coach. It's all combobulated, but it makes it interesting, makes it fun, and gives us something to talk about. So The bottom line is I need everybody else to show up on 4 flats. Let the Panthers go in there and take their business and try to get some rematch against the Family Rattlers, even though they say be careful what you ask for.
There you go. There you go.
So we got that going. Basketball, Coach, just tipped really getting off the ground. Yeah, tipped off last night. Still early, kind of tune-up games. You expected what you can see, but I don't know if you got a chance to look at my Panthers. They took care on Kansas City Christian school. My Panthers look a little small this year, Coach.
Okay, well, I have not seen the roster yet, but they took care of business 89-66. And the score that caught my attention out of all the SWAC schools was Alabama State at Ole Miss. That was a 10-point game in Oxford, Mississippi. Now I've been to Oxford. I've taken some teams into Oxford, and that's a tough place to play. So it might mean that Bama State might have a team, either that or Ole Miss just overlooked Bama State. But being within 10 points of them at SEC school, I think that's good. But my Bulldogs, I did the game last night. They beat Oakwood University, a crosstown rival, 111-59, and that was to be expected. But I think overall, the SWAC in the preseason, we're gonna take our lumps because we're playing the money games. But when the season starts in January for the SWAC first contest, I think these teams will be, number one, they'll be battle tested, and I think we'll be ready to see some great basketball between the SWAC schools.
Yes, sir. Well, I had a concern, and I recall someone either confirming one way or the other, but maybe I'll run it by you and see if you know. Before the Pac-12 became the Pac-2, there were some schools that had committed to the SWAC schools with this little deal that they had between the two. Yeah, the PAC SWAC challenge is what I'm calling it. But they now, majority of those schools are going to be in Big 12. Do you know if they're going to still honor those contracts?
Right. Well, right now they are, because, even for this season, the they've already put the schedule out there where the women, Arizona State will be at Grambling, California will be at FAMU, and then on the men's side, Oregon is going down to FAMU, and USC is going to be at Alabama State. So for right now, it's a go for this season. I think what the future holds, we don't know. But with it being non-conference games, I think they'll still be able to honor them.
Okay. Well, sometimes these slots will get here and there, and I know we hadn't talked about it much, but with all this realignment, everybody was focused on football, but man, it's going to have a huge impact on basketball, especially in the tournament, Coach. And unfortunately, this is going to cause a lot of people to miss out on some great opportunities because there's only so much room at the table.
That's true.
For the big boys.
You're absolutely correct. So when they start talking about realignment, it affects more than just football. And when you talk about all those Pac-12 teams that are going to the Big Ten, in terms of basketball, you look at what the ACC has picked up. It's going to be a big challenge when it comes to basketball.
Okay. Are you in favor? I think it would be a good move for Gonzaga to join the Big 12.
Yes, I think Gonzaga needs to get out of the West because it doesn't help them being in the West, because during the regular season they're not being challenged enough, and that's why they don't have that opportunity to be as strong during tournament time.
Okay, and do you think in that same breath, because it appears the Big 12 is trying to be that dude when it comes to basketball, that it would benefit UConn to leave the East to go to the Big 12?
No, UConn needs to stay where they are. They can stand alone. UConn in basketball is sort of like Notre Dame in football. Their name precedes them. Even though the modern times in terms of Notre Dame football, they're not as strong, but because their name is out there, they have yet to join the league, and they don't have to. And UConn, I feel, can do the same thing in basketball.
Okay.
So staying in the Big East will help them. It'll help their gate, because they'll have more natural rivalries in playing in the East than they would going to another conference where their fan base is not familiar with the team.
Right. Well, all of this has put a damper, at least regionally, in the college athletics, and we've talked about it in the past, so there ain't no sense of us trying to hash it all over again, but it's going to set up for interesting play, and I'm going to be intrigued to see how these Olympic sports are going to be evaluated. They're going to have to reconstruct something here real soon. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when it comes, Coach.
Right. Well, I'm going to be honest. I think you're going to see more family leagues going to do more regional play. They'll probably split up the conference, and then you play people on your side twice and that kind of thing, because when it comes to the financial aspect of it, they got to do something like that. Or you'll see more not round robins, but you'll see more single-site events where multiple teams are going to one site to play.
Right.
That's what I think you'll see. I think you'll see more of that.
Right. Well, you'd have to almost create, now I'm thinking baseball now because of the length of games. Now, softball, you can get it because they play so many games in a shorter time. You'd have to almost have an off-balance schedule when it comes to these clusters. Instead of a 3-game series, you might just play each other one time around the horn to get everybody at least see each other at least one time for conference play.
Right. I think that's going to be the concept, Doc, that they're going to have to come up with. if they want to try to be fair with it.
Well, we're not talking fair. We're talking college athletics.
Yes,
so.
Correct. Yeah,
well,
you're right. You're right.
That's not fair.
There's nothing fair about it. You're right.
Yeah, right. And Coach, and for the life of me, and I don't know, and forgive me if I ask you this again, but I've talked to so many different people. I get it, but I don't get it. What's the big concern about the advanced scouting? The guy has resigned from the. People have been advanced scouting for years, Coach. Whether you're in person, whether you're videoing, sending people to go and with a notebook and paper, pen, scouting is scouting, right?
Well, the in-person thing gives you more. You can see more in person than you can on a tape. Now, you can break that tape down. Well, that tape is only going to give you what that camera's seeing. That in-person person, well, they are the camera.
Uh-huh.
They can focus in on multiple aspects of the game. And in this scandal, they primarily focused on the sidelines and what their signals are or were. And that gave Michigan an advantage. Because if you know in advance what play I'm going to run, you have a better chance of stopping me.
Okay, but the key is I still got to stop you. And let me add this, Coach. We're in such a technical state of life right now.
Correct.
That they have programs that can enhance, and you won't even know that there's a game going on because they can zoom in so tight to study and see what the signals are if they really desire to. So, tomato to me, and my thing is, I'm in your head if you're going through those many changes to try to see what I'm doing. And guess what? You could once you identify that they're trying to peep your signals and all that, you can run the same signals and call whatever you want to call reverse that week, but especially when you know you're playing them.
Right.
And still do it. And if you know what's coming, you still got to stop me.
Right, but see,
I
think what the coaches are saying, had they known in advance that this was happening, they would have done that. They would have given the same signal and ran something else. But because they were not aware of that, and then here's the other thing that you have to take into consideration. In these televised games, there are certain areas of the playing field that they can't cover. They're not supposed to cover. And the NFL is the same way. The NFL does not allow cameras to zero in on stuff like that. And NC2A is doing the same thing. You're not supposed to do that. If you're the home team, you are required to make sure that you are not filming that sideline of your opponent. You're only supposed to be doing the actual game footage. So I think that's in there,
Now, well, I understand that, but like I said, and it's always good for a good, healthy discussion.
Oh yeah.
Every team has their own personal film person.
Correct.
Every team. Okay. Who's to say that I got my film guy doing his thing with the game and got an extra camera just pointed toward the sideline for future study? It's the same thing.
Okay, but if you're at my place, I guarantee you that would not happen because my guy is going to be in the same spot as your guy, and he's going to make sure that you're not doing that.
Okay. You're going to beat him up and throw him off the ledge?
Like at Alabama A&M, everybody films from the same area. Both teams are side by side filming. So my people are going to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do. They're not going to let you get an advantage. And I think that's why you've seen at some places. I know at our place one time we had a fight because of that. The two camera people got into a tussle over territory.
Wow.
So I think this thing, and from what I'm hearing, if it's correct, that's the right thing to do. if they're going to penalize Michigan, it's only the coach is going to be penalized, not the team.
Right. Well, the advanced scout has resigned already.
But he's still the responsibility of the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if they're going to do anything, they're going to penalize Harbaugh and not the team. The team will still be able to participate. And you know, this has really irked a lot of the coaches in the Big Ten because they're the ones pushing it. They're pushing their ADs. They're pushing the commissioner to do something about it.
Well,
they're looking at the ethical side. They're looking at the ethical side. They don't want the Big Ten to be known as a cheating conference.
Coach.
Yep. I know. Look, we've been cheating ever since they started out.
Yeah. Ethical. I was like, what the? I forget who. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Jim Moore. Are you kidding me?
Yep. As many times as Ohio State and some of those other programs have been in trouble.
Right. And for the record, I don't even get turned on by Big Ten athletics, period. To me, it's boring. Yep. It's nothing like my SWAC, okay? But it is the trending thing right now. And my thing is, whatever y'all are going to do, they making enough money, putting money under the table, burying some in the backyard. They've been cheating forever, but somebody got a little bit more creative in their cheating. Now they're crying foul. Right. All of them can kick rocks as far as I'm concerned. As what they should do, this is what they should do, for what they would fine him, take that money and disperse it evenly to every HBCU football program that don't have what they have. If they want to really be good about it and right about it.
Yep, that would be a good thing.
Yeah. You know, we're going to fine him $2 million. Man, I'm making $12 million a year. So what?
Yep.
And ain't nothing but a booster come and cover that. Don't worry about it, Harbaugh. We got your back. And which brings me to this. Do you think it's time for Harbaugh to take flight to the NFL?
Yeah, I think this is it for him. I think this will probably be his last year. He's been scrutinized enough up there. I think he'll leave. I think if the right team opens up, and I'm looking at one of them West Coast teams, I think he's gone.
The Raiders.
Yep.
You know, but I don't care about no Raiders neither. But I'm just saying. But it is. I just laugh at all of it. Meanwhile, we in our HBCU world, we're chugging along, and let us be mindful and be thankful. We might not have everything that they have, but we do have ethics. We do have pride. We do have dignity, and we have the heart of a lion.
Yep. And
that can't be measured by a dollar bill. And with that, Coach, I'm going to get off this soapbox because I feel myself getting worked up, man. Okay. I really do. And it ain't about them. It's about us, Coach, the Southwestern Athletic Conference. And with that, I'm going to give you some closing thoughts and comments, sir.
Well, this has been a great week for us. We only have a couple of weeks left in this football season. I think it's been a great year so far. And I look forward to next week. I want to discuss these grades that we have given out this week. And I want to continue to encourage you to do what you're doing. You are being mindful of your assignment, and I'm grateful for that.
Well, I'm grateful to have you part of the assignment, sir. We couldn't get it done without you, and we couldn't get it done without those of you that listen each and every day right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. He is the guru, the Godfather, and we in his elements now, y'all. Them basketballs are bouncing, the whistles are blowing, and he's at the edge of his seat counting every jumper, every free throw attempt, only like he can. And we're just mighty glad to be a part of it. The guru himself, Mr. Coach Van Pettaway. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Want to remind you guys, follow me on X at the Mike Prince Show. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, and listen to our 24-hour stream at obnradio.com. So until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.